Hey, it's Carrie, and on today's Toilet Talk, we're covering the dirty truth of toilet paper. In America, we've been influenced by decades of marketing to convince us that this soft, white tissue paper can wipe away all of our messes. Wrong. The United States uses more toilet paper than any other country in the world. We're 4% of the world's population, but yet we somehow use 20% of the world's toilet paper. Our habit of taking wads and wads of toilet paper every single time we pee and poop has Americans using 28 pounds of toilet paper a year. That's 141 rolls of toilet paper. And if we're using toilet paper math, that means 4 times 2 times 16 equals 100 rolls of toilet paper. 9 rolls of jumbo toilet paper equals 2 rolls of Megatron toilet paper. It's all bullshit. Why do Americans use so much toilet paper? Well, it comes down to 2 things: profit and habit. Selling disposable white tissue paper is profitable. And also here in the United States, toilet paper is what we know and what we're in the habit of using after we use the restroom. Today in the United States, the biggest producers of tissue paper are Procter & Gamble, Georgia Pacific, and Kimberly-Clark, and they make the most well-known tissue brands that we all use at home, like Charmin, Angel Soft, Cottonelle, and Quilted Northern. And these companies, they pump billions and billions of dollars into marketing their products so they sell, and we use a shit ton of it. The thing is, the issue with tissue is much bigger than just using a lot of it. It has real detrimental impacts on our planet. Like throughout the manufacturing process, it releases tons of greenhouse gases into the air, and we literally murder millions of trees and just flush them right down the toilet. Before we get into the impact of toilet paper, we'll go over a brief history of how this came to be TP. For toilet paper, humans had to wipe with something, and so of course we use natural things like leaves, moss, snow, and probably other random things that we used to find outside. And then in colonial America, we actually used to use corn husks. Can you imagine that? Oh my God. But also in America, we used to use things like farmer's almanacs. So if you don't know what that is, it looks kind of like a phone book, and they actually used to have a hole in it just so you can put it on a nail in your outhouse and use it to wipe your butt after you went poop. And then whenever Sears catalogs and Roebuck's catalogs used to come out, they were also used for the same thing. That was pre-toilet paper days. Toilet paper was invented in the late 1800s when paper was no longer a rarity. And this type of toilet paper, where that it's perforated and on a roll, was invented in 1880, which was only 139 years ago. That's not any time. Like, this has been a relatively new way for us to wipe after we poop. Most of the world's toilet paper comes from trees, so that means deforestation. And the process of how toilet paper is made starts with these trees. They're cut down, then these logs are chopped into wood chips, and these wood chips then undergo a very water and energy intensive process that then takes all the lignin and the cellulose out, and then what's left of the wood, then it goes through this bleaching process to get it to this nice shiny white that we all associate with clean nowadays. And since toilet paper's popularization, we've killed millions and millions of trees every single year just to make toilet paper, and we've also released tons of greenhouse gases right into our atmosphere from the manufacturing, but also from all of the forests that we've cut down just to make toilet paper. So toilet paper and all tissue products are made from what we call paper pulp. And if the paper pulp is made from 100% wood, like most of the tissue that we have here in the United States, then it's called a virgin pulp. And researchers have found that if you use virgin pulp over a more sustainable pulp, like a post-consumer recycled pulp or bamboo pulp that makes bamboo toilet paper, then you're actually releasing 3 times more carbon into the atmosphere than if you were using a more sustainable pulp. Majority of American toilet paper uses pulp from the boreal forest from Canada, our neighbor upstairs. And it's actually having a really detrimental impact on the boreal forest, its ecosystem, and its environment. Between 1996 and 2015, we logged 28 million acres of the boreal forest. That's roughly the size of Ohio. The boreal forest is the most carbon-dense forest ecosystem on Earth. When the boreal is deforested and degraded from logging, its capacity to continue storing carbon significantly declines, and it releases that carbon that's been locked up in the trees and in the soil back into the atmosphere. Deforestation isn't harmful just because it makes toilet paper though. Like in the boreal forest in Canada, deforestation has impacted the wildlife, taken homes away from the indigenous peoples, and it's causing all this carbon to emit back into the environment. I'm sure you guys have all heard about the Amazon rainforest burning earlier this year. Well, researchers point to deforestation. After a patch of forest is chopped down and the valuable timber is taken out, developers will always set the place on fire just to get rid of the excess vegetation. And that leads to forest fires. But the reason they do it is so that eventually that land can then become pasture land or farmland. Here's the issue. Those cute little bears that promote these ultra soft, double thick roll of toilet paper, they almost exclusively still rely on virgin pulp. And they're not making any changes. What you can do as a consumer is to choose more sustainable brands like Hello Tushy. Hello Tushy makes bamboo toilet paper, obviously from bamboo, which is much more sustainable than trees because it grows simply so much faster and it uses way less resources. And the type of bamboo that they use can grow up to 39 inches in a single day. And as you can tell, it's right here. It is brown, which means that it's been unbleached. I don't understand why people are bleaching toilet paper when you're about to get brown all over anyway. But not bleaching means skipping that whole chemical process and saving all that water and all of those resources. But the most sustainable way to clean yourself after you use the restroom is, of course, to not use any toilet paper at all. So, Hello Tushy. This is the Tushy bidet, and it easily attaches onto any toilet in just a few minutes, and it washes your butt instead of you wiping it. When you wash with Tushy, you end up using only just a couple pieces of toilet paper just to pat dry. Or if you don't want to use any toilet paper at all, which is the most eco and the most sustainable, you can use a reusable towel like this Tushy bamboo towel just to pat dry and then clip it on and use it for later. And a lot of people have questions about this because you're like using an old towel, but the thing is when you're washing your butt is clean. There's no residoo-doo left or anything on it. And another thing that I didn't mention earlier is, did you know that it takes 37 gallons of water? Not the bamboo one, but 37 gallons of water to make one roll of normal white toilet paper. And that's equivalent to 296 pints. When you're washing with Tushy, you only use about a pint of water. So that means you would have to actually poop and then use Tushy 296 times before you use the same amount of water that it took just to make this one roll of toilet paper. If you were to take one action after watching this video, I really encourage you to replace one of your bathroom habits with something more sustainable because you use the bathroom multiple times a day. And whether that is replacing your white toilet paper with bamboo or getting a Tushy bidet. But I really encourage you to check this thing out because it'll change your life. It's affordable, it attaches onto any toilet, uses no electricity, clean water from the wall. It's better for the environment, better for your butt, better for your wallet, and it will literally change your life.